Hi guys, on the 14th of April in 2012, a group of Muslim activists descended on more than 40 cities all over Germany to distribute the Quran to unsuspecting Germans. National security there has a watchful eye on these people as they're considered, well, fundamentalist Salafis. The group, which accuses other Muslims of deceiving Islam when they tolerate and accommodate Western values, such as free speech and free elections. National television regularly reports on these guys, who don't consider publicizing the names, addresses and photos of reporters and thereby exposing them as repugnant. Well, TV in Germany nevertheless keeps track of what the heads of this group are doing and how they can affect national security. As always, I had the best ideas for questions and responses while copying the video files to the laptop for processing, an hour after the discussion. They are literalists, so I should have asked whether they condone men having sex with their female slaves and whether this means that slavery will be established in Germany soon. I also failed to mention the choice of words for this action, and they should fire whoever thought of the motto, lies. Well, that's the English version. In German it's lies, which means to read. But Germans are using English words all the time, so they all realize the faux pas of using the German lies or lies as slogan. But I forgot to laugh about that. Instead, I asked about the immediate goals and what they were based on. When I told them that their claims were not in the Quran but only interpretations, they started shouting at me, screaming that I had no idea what I was talking about, and I grabbed one of the free copies lying in abundance on the table and showed this to the reporters behind me, who were at this stage only waiting for an escalation. Oh wow, what fun. I explained to them why this was not the Quran and showed them that it actually said on the cover that this was an approximate interpretation of the Quran and that the sentences in the original are so vague that they require guidance and interpretation, which makes it impossible to call something the Islam or a person the typical Muslim. I told them about different groups within Islam and how their interpretation affects the judicial rulings and subsequent legal implications. This brought one Muslim to his limits, and he physically shoved me and shouted at me to, well, I'll paraphrase here, go away. And then the others reacted like children. They couldn't very well ban or block me, so they shouted at each other not to talk to me. They did not realize that this brought on even more media attention. I was interviewed by another TV station and a reporter from what turned out to be the largest magazine in Germany. The Muslims standing behind their tables could only watch and clench their fists. And then eventually they had summoned a guy from elsewhere who tried to talk to me and acted in a more diplomatic fashion. So now, together with the reporter, we started a more rational discussion. He was more educated and well-spoken, and where the other guys, when I admitted I was an atheist, could only comment with, now we have a problem, knowing they could not apply their anti-Christian rhetoric, this guy knew what it meant and tried to talk about the validity and origins of the Quran. I played along for a few minutes, but it was too obvious that he wanted to keep me away from the general public and the TV cameras, so I went back to asking bystanders why they were interested, and then this sparked again heated reactions by Muslims who were now keeping an eye on me. Wow, what fun. Yes, I know I can be a dick. But how can you pass up the chance of having so many Muslims aggressive and intent on deceiving people who have no knowledge on the Quran and not irritate them? Especially when police are within earshot and cameras are waiting to capture aggressive behavior. Come on, it was so much fun. But what made it even better was that I was not really alone. There were some human rights groups and they were constantly questioning the dubious beliefs, and some other Germans were also asking uncomfortable questions as to their intentions and their backward society structures. So it was not easy for them. And then all this action brought on quite a crowd, and more people came up to find out what this was all about. The Muslim activists would probably report this as a huge success, that all the books were distributed and they had none left, but a lot of them went to people with remarks of caution and words of warning regarding the contents. Wow, what fun. What was strange was the fact that while the local TV broadcast this as a scuffle, the national news preferred showing deserted and empty stands in other cities, with people largely ignoring the so-called Qurans on display, and only once briefly mentioned the incident I was in. It seems that Germans want to keep this low-key and not alarm anyone. 2 weeks ago in Poland, they simply ignored any Muslim activity, possibly because they feel more secure in their predominantly Catholic environment. I mean, maybe the UK will get some of this attention by Muslim groups in the near future. I look forward to their reactions. Well, that was me, and lots of fun. Thank you for your time.